Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we're going to be reviewing your Batman designs. If you guys enjoyed the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. Okay, so a while ago, I asked you guys to submit your custom Batman designs, whether it be your vision for Batman in the DCU or just an alternate costume you think looks cool. Now, this is not a contest, there's not going to be a winner, so the goal isn't to have the best looking drawing. This is just about creating a cool alternate look for the character that is something different. Now, something that I want to try to do for this video is to give my honest thoughts and opinions on these designs. I want to be genuine with my criticism. I don't want to just glaze everything that comes across my screen, and I also don't want to just hate things for the sake of hating. I want to be real with this. Alright, first up, we have this absolute banger here by Unqualified Nerd Art. There's a lot going on here, and we got 3 different versions of this design. Now, you could spin this in multiple ways. This could either be some kind of vampire Batman, or Batman as a robot, or some kind of cyborg, or this could also be an alternate design for Damian Wayne's Batman. And I'm mostly saying that because of the trench coat on the design on the right. Damian Wayne has been known to wear a trench coat when he takes up the mantle of Batman, and this just looks so cool. I love the asymmetrical design. I love how the bat symbol starts on the shoulder and it kind of spreads out throughout the rest of the suit, and you have the rest of the little bats on there. It really reminds me of Spider-Man's Hellfire Gala suit. It's just so cool. Now, of these 3 designs, I think my favorite has to be the one in the middle, and that's mostly just because I don't really like the trench coat design. I prefer the cape, but I also love collars, and that is a nice big collar. It just looks so good. This design is so good. Great job, man. Alright, moving on, we have this next design by Cordell, and I love the layout of the suit. I love the shading on the mask. Really reminds me of Adam West Batman or classic Silver Age Batman suits. I love the shape of the ears, how they're more like horns than bat ears. I even love the yellow symbol. However, this suit breaks one of my rules when it comes to designing a bat suit. You can't mix blue and purple, man. You can't do that. And that's why he included a second version. This one looks so good. I love the black and the purple color scheme with the yellow. It's like he knew that last design was going to make me a little uncomfortable with the color palette, so he was just like, you know, I'm going to submit this absolute banger right after that. This one looks so good. Oh my gosh. Alright, next up we have 4 Batman designs by Matthias, the first one being this Year 2 Batman. Now, I don't even mind the fact that there's no trunks on this suit because there is enough black here to break up the gray and balance out the colors. Now, what I love about this design is the shoulder section with the cowl. It really reminds me of the Tim Fox Future State Batman suit. It just looks so good. Now, I do like how grounded this suit looks. It looks like this could be the next, natural evolution of the Robert Pattinson suit, especially since you have the more grounded technology on here with the grapple gun attached to the wrist, similar to how it was done in The Batman. Just such a cool design. I love the straps all over the suit. It really just gives it this urban militaristic look to it. It's so cool. Now, the next 3 designs are these Robin themed bat suits. I think these look so cool. Obviously, the first one is Dick Grayson. Now, I love how they incorporated the Nightwing design elements into the bat suit, primarily with the Disco Wing themed bat symbol there. It just looks so cool, so creative. I love the Eskrima sticks. I think Nightwing would probably still use those even as Batman. I like the collar. Obviously, I like the collar. I like the blue color scheme with the shading on the mask. It really gives this costume a Silver Age vibe, which I really think would fit Dick Grayson as Batman. Now, this middle one is really interesting because obviously I think this is Jason Todd because of the crowbar and the guns and the red bat symbol on the chest. However, the helmet and the armor and the blue color scheme, it really reminds me of Heretic. And I don't know if there's some kind of backstory behind this suit, but I think that's really interesting. Now, I love how thrown together this suit looks. It's almost as if Jason is becoming the unofficial Batman. He's not set up in the Batcave. He's not a part of the Bat family anymore. He doesn't have any of Batman's resources. So he just kind of throws this together and now he is a lethal Batman. And this last one here, I'm not sure exactly who this is. I'm going to assume that it's Tim Drake, and that's mostly because there's no trench coat. Damian Wayne usually has a trench coat as Batman, so I think this is Tim. But also, this suit looks very technologically advanced, which also leads me to believe that this is Tim because he is the smartest Robin. I like this design. It's a little more basic than the other 2, but it still works for a Tim Drake Batman. I'm not sure how I feel about the chin strap, but I do really like the kind of lined padding throughout the suit. It's not too armored, but it's armored enough. I like these a lot. Alright, next up we have this design submitted by Harrison, and it's just a cool alternate Batman Beyond design. I love the black and silver color scheme, and honestly, in my headcanon, Terry McGinnis might adopt this kind of color scheme later into his career as Batman. Definitely more stealthy than black and red. I also love the cape. The cape is really cool. I always think that Batman Beyond just looks way cooler with a cape. Now, as much as I like the little wingsuit that he has normally, like, come on. Like, a cape on any superhero just adds so much aura. Now, the only thing, and I mean the only thing, that I don't like about this design is the belt. And by that, I mean lack of belt, okay? Like, we just have the belt buckle there, which, yeah, looks great on a Batman Beyond design. It's on his classic original design. But he also kind of needs those little, like, belt pouch things along the sides to balance it out. You know, it kind of just looks like he has a really pronounced belly button or something. Like I said, besides that, and maybe the ears being too short, I think this design is doing something really special. I love how simple it is. Now, with other Batman Beyond designs throughout media, looking at you, Arkham Knight, they always overdo it. It's too over-designed, there's too many details, they add a bunch of armor and all this futuristic crap. It's too much, okay? This is simple, okay? This is respecting the original Batman Beyond design while doing something a little different, and I love it. Alright, next up, we have a design submitted by Grim_Meow. Now, I think that this design has a level of simplicity that just really works. First off, I love this art style. It's so simple, and it just looks so good and clean. Now, what I think I liked about this suit the most is the symbol, and that's because I've never really seen somebody mix the oval with the yellow trim. It's usually one or the other, but here you have the smaller oval that looks kind of like the Flashpoint bat symbol, but then you have the yellow trim from the Rebirth suit, and it just looks so cool, you know? I love the big pouchy belt with the exposed grapnel line, and I love the blue on the inside of the cape, giving me some BTAS vibes. Now, we have the purple and the blue being mixed. That's a big rule. You can't do that, okay? Blue and purple do not mix. They're too similar. They clash with everything else. But this one, you know, it's limited to the hand wraps on the gloves, so like, whatever, I don't really care. Now, this design is doing something really interesting with the spikes on the arms. Usually, it's just 3 black spikes, but here, it's like one piece, and there's like 3 blades on it, and they're yellow. So it really stands out. It looks really cool. Now, Grim also made a Nemo-themed version of this design, so of course, I'm gonna have to show this. Like, this just looks so cool. The all-black silhouette with the orange. Like, come on. Like, come on. It's just sick. Alright, next up, we have a Batsuit submitted by A Bird That Draws. You can go follow him over on Instagram. He is very talented. Now, this Batsuit essentially just looks like the basic DCU Batman concept that we've been seeing get thrown around. The dark blue with the gray, the trim around the symbol, the blue bat symbol that kind of matches the Jorge Jimenez design. However, I don't know if it's the art style, but like this just looks like an older version of the Batman 2004. And I think it has to do with the cowl. It just looks so good. I love the long ears on this. And also, like, wow, this guy is just such a talented artist. I love the shading and the wrinkles on the cape and the mask. It's so peak. Honestly, I think this might be my favorite version of Batman's mask that I've ever seen. It's just that good. All right, next up, we have a DCU Batman concept submission from A-List Arts, and I think this looks really good. I love the shade of blue that they have chosen for this costume, and they include it there in the notes too. Rather than just blue or black, the best of both worlds would be a black with a blue tint. So this blue is so dark that it almost looks black. It's still gonna be perfect for stealth, and it will still blend in with the shadows. I'm not a huge fan of the cowl. It looks a lot like the DC AMU cowl, and that's just because I have a personal preference against the chin strap in general. Nothing against this design or the artwork itself. I'm also, you know, I don't want to go for the exposed eyes, you know, for the DCU. I am a white eyes truther, and it's just because we haven't seen it before. That's all. Now, while the rest of this design is fire, I do have to say, I'm not a fan of the symbol. And it's a little distracting, but the symbol kind of reminds me of a street sign. It's kind of hard not to see it. Not trying to hate on it. I just think it's funny, you know? I mean, but other than that, the rest of what he's got going on here is just straight fire, okay? I love how it looks padded, but not too armored. It strikes a good balance and definitely would fit well into the DCU. All right, next up, we have a Batsuit submitted by Dante. Now, when I first saw this, I didn't think I was gonna like it, and that's mostly just because there's no trunks. However, I think they've done something here that actually works, okay? You have the black pants, which adds a level of contrast from the gray sections on the top of the suit. I don't think that would have worked by itself, which is why they've added these blue padded sections along the side of the torso and down the legs. And I think that is what breaks up the color in a way that makes it work. It looks so good. You got a nice shade of blue here. You got a really nice classic looking bat symbol with the yellow oval. You got a nice belt. I like the tactical armor looking, boots and the gloves there. Like you have some armor on the knuckles and like the top of the hand. Looks great. I love the mask. The ears are a nice length. I really like the collar on the cape. Like it's not too long of a collar. It's not super pronounced, but you can tell it's still there. And I love it. This suit is it's really solid, okay? All right, next up, we have a bat suit submitted by Major Monkey 25. Now, this costume really reminds me of Christian Bale's bat suit, but if they added some blue and gold to it. Now, I think that this bat suit is a little too armored and militaristic looking for my taste, but I do like how they've included all of these different gadgets that go along with the design. It's really creative. Now, we got a bunch of different kinds of batarangs down here. We got a remote-controlled batarang, a jammerang, Mr. Freeze Tech batarang, the nth metal batarang. We got an explosive batarang, a camera with a mic. We got a kryptonite one. There's a taserang, just the standard batarang. There's like this weird separated one, and then a combat grapple. Now, as a lot of you know, I am not a fan of the Christian Bale batsuit. However, I think that this actually improves on the design. Like the armor and that kind of, plating is still present. But the color adds a lot to it, Nice job. All right, next up, we have this beautiful piece of art done by Talon M. Newton. This really just reminds me of the Arkham Origin suit, but less bulky. And that was my main issue with the suit in that game, is that he was just way too damn big. Like, come on. First off, I just have to say, like, this artwork is amazing. Okay, this looks like actual official movie concept art. So talented. Now, I think the big conversation point here is going to be the trunks. Now, I know a lot of people hate it when they take away the trunks and then replace it with something else, like just a black section that's like weirdly shaped. I understand that, and most of the time I don't like it too, but I really do think that it works here. And the reason why is because Mr. Talon here has added another black section that goes up the torso on the sides. I think it really balances out the color palette, because if they just left that section gray, then the trunk section would just look really weird and out of place. But it all flows together so nicely. I don't mind this at all. And honestly, if they chose to go with something like this for the DCU Batman, I wouldn't be mad at all, especially if they just replaced the black with a dark blue. Now, another cool detail about this design is the spray painted yellow section around the symbol. They go with the yellow trim, kind of like the Rebirth design, but it's spray painted. Like, it's really cool. Like, I'm not sure if there's a backstory behind that kind of design element, but I think it's really cool. Now, Talon sent me a number of images to go along with this design, and I can't spend too much time on each of those, so I'm just going to show you some of the other pictures he sent me. These are all so amazing. Just look at these. All right, next up, we have a fire design done by the Roam Zone. If you haven't heard of him, go check out his channel. He does a ton of really cool Spider-Man content, and he's also where I got the idea for this video. Thanks a ton, but this design is so cool, okay? I'm just gonna say, having purple be the primary color for a batsuit is really interesting, and it's something we don't see a lot, but I think it's done amazingly here. Now, the more I look at this, the more I realize Roman just threw a Spider-Man layout onto a batsuit. If you look at the way the purple sections are laid out, it looks a lot like a Spider-Man suit, but I love it so much. It looks so good. I love the oversized bat logo with the yellow trim, the glowing yellow eyes. This is so intimidating, and honestly, I wouldn't mind if Batman had a costume like this in the comics. Alright, next up, we have a design by Carlos, and let me just say, we have so many talented artists here, but this just looks like a mixture of Robert Pattinson's Batsuit with the Batman 2004. So peak. I love the shade of blue. It's a little brighter than what we've seen so far in this list, but it just looks so good. You have the Robert Pattinson symbol there with the yellow circle. You got the Christian Bale looking belt from Batman Begins, and the gloves are probably my favorite part of this suit. We have the claws, just like the Batman 2004 suit. Now, I know that this probably wouldn't happen because of how bright this design looks, but if this was the main Batsuit for the DCU, I wouldn't mind at all, and I know that this is never going to show up in the Robert Pattinson universe. Like, they would never evolve his Batsuit to look like this just because that universe is way too grounded. But this looks so peak. Like, come on. Alright, next up, we have some designs done by Evan Isabel Graphics. Now, I don't really want to talk about the Batsuit here. It looks like the new 52 Batsuit or like the Batman v Superman one. I think the Robin design here is really interesting. They've essentially mixed Tim Drake's Robin costume with Nightwing. Like, you just have the basic Robin layout, but then you have the Nightwing logo going across the chest and it connects to the cape. Really interesting. I like it a lot. I'm not a huge fan of the bronze used on the rest of the suit. I think it should match the yellow on the cape, but whatever. Other than that, like, this is really unique. I like this a lot. All right, next up, we have this bat suit done by Scarlet Spidey 31. Now, this one just makes me think of, like, if Miles Morales became Batman, and that's mostly because of the purple and red color scheme, but also the exposed hair. That reminds me of Miles' suit from Spider-Man 2. Just gonna say this right out the bat. Not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of exposed hair unless it's on, like, a costume like Wally West. I think it only really works there. And I guess Invincible. I don't know. I feel like if the opening on the top of the head here was a little bigger, this might have worked a bit more, but it just feels like the top of his mask got ripped and then his hair is exposed. Like, it looks like battle damage rather than an intentional design element. Now, other than the top of the mask, I really like this design. You got the purple and the red with the gray there. The color balancing here is amazing. I like the red eyes on the suit. The bat symbol is a really nice shape. I like the hood and the short cape. It looks really cool. And, like, I don't know what else to say. This Batman just has
the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
All right, next up, we have this design done by Regal Quill, and this one's really interesting. It's like Absolute Batman mixed with the Rebirth costume. You have the, the short little spikes on the shoulders, but then you also got the gold trimmer on the symbol. I'm not a huge fan of the shape of the belt, but I think it's just the art style. There's a little bit of purple on this design. You can see it on the inside of the cape, but also there's like some padding on the top of the gloves. Really nice. This is just a good batsuit design. Like, it's very balanced. There's not too much going on here. I like the shape of the mask and the length of the ears. This looks pretty much perfect. And then he also gave us a Nemo variant. Let's go. I really like how he's incorporated the N into the bat symbol. I haven't really seen anyone try to do that yet. But also, if you look at the gloves, those look like fish fins instead of spikes. So, like, this is just peak. Just absolute cinema right here. Thank you. All right, next up, we got this design done by Strider Art. I think this one's really interesting. The main difference between this batsuit and others is the black pants. The entire bottom section of the suit is black. So because of that, there's not really a need for the trunks, but also I feel like the gray part looks a little out of place now. Like, they could have just made the entire suit black and it would have stood out a lot more, especially with the yellow accents on the suit. But this design still looks amazing. I love the super long spikes. Like, they're comically large. Like, there's no way Batman would be able to function with arm spikes this long. It's just kind of ridiculous. Overall, pretty solid design. All right, next up, we don't have a drawing, but we do have a piece of art done by Darth Koala on Nexus Mods. This is a mod for Batman Arkham Knight. Now, I always thought that mods were really interesting because they can show us what Batman suits would look like in live action, especially since they use more realistic textures than drawings. Now, what we have here is essentially a realistic version of the Batman Hush suit. You just have the dark blue with the gray. I actually do like the suit a lot. I'm not a huge fan of the exposed eyes, but that's just because I'm a white eyes truther. I like the gauntlets. I do wish that the gloves were the same color as the gauntlets. They look a little bit out of place just being black. It kind of clashes against the rest of the blue gloves, but other than that, like, this suit is just, it's amazing. Like, this should just be a live action Batsuit with a few tweaks. But overall, this mod is amazing. I've played with this, and I'll have to do a video in the future highlighting some of my favorite Arkham Knight mods. Now, if you want to make a Nemo mod, that would be great, but, no pressure. All right, next up, we got, whoa. Who are you?
I'm you, but serious.
That's pretty dark, man.
Of course it's dark. Nighttime is the most serious time to fight crime. Showtime.
All right, next up, we have this design submitted by Nish Che, and holy aura. This design essentially looks like a three-way mixture between Jorge Jimenez Batman, The Long Halloween, and Kelly Jones Batman. This just looks so cool. The long ears are crazy. Like, they're comically long, not practical at all, but they do look terrifying. I like the blue symbol. I love the pouchy belt, the trunks, the big cape. Like, this is just perfect. And also, this is a really good build for Batman. I haven't really mentioned that for a lot of these other designs, but a lot of these guys give Batman like the perfect build. This is amazing. All right, next up, we have this beautiful piece of art done by Copic_art. and this is based off of my idea for the Batman of Krypton. In one of my previous videos, I briefly mentioned a short story that I wanted to write about Jor-El taking up the mantle of Batman to save Krypton from its imminent destruction. So rather than give up and shoot his son into space, this version of Jor-El trains his mind and body to take on the corrupt government and the AI known as Brainiac that is destroying his planet. I am super happy with the design that is being presented here. This is pretty much exactly what I pictured. I wanted to mix Jor-El's classic Kryptonian clothing from Estas with Superman's costume from Batman Beyond. Like, I feel like just those two ideas mixed together would make the ultimate Kryptonian Batman suit. This looks so good. I really like how the bat emblem still vaguely resembles the House of El crest. I think that's really cool. I love the silver armor panels throughout the suit. Really reminds me of Jor-El's armor from the Superman the Animated Series. This just looks so good. All right, next up, we have this bat suit submitted by John Milstead. This looks amazing. Now, John actually reached out to me a while ago and asked me to describe my dream DCU Batman suit. This is kind of his whole thing on Instagram. You can go follow him there, but he likes to ask creators their visions for different characters, and then he brings them to life. So this is what John came up with for my vision for DCU Batman. And I know it's kind of basic, you know, the dark blue with the gray with the gold trim around the symbol. We've seen tons of creators talk about this specific design for the DCU, but like, come on. Like, just because it's basic doesn't mean it doesn't work. Like, this just looks so good. I would love to see something like this in the DCU. So here for this design, we've pulled from a few different versions of Batman. The base suit is mostly modeled after the Arkham City bat suit, where you have the lines and the paneling and the piping throughout the suit. It's padded, but not too padded, so it still has a really fabric look and it doesn't look armored. The gold trim around the symbol is obviously inspired by Batman Rebirth, and the utility belt is pulled straight from the Matt Fraction Jorge Jimenez Batman. That utility belt is the best that it's ever looked. Now, as you guys know, I am a huge fan of trunks on Batman. I think it's necessary, okay? But I really like the way that the trunks were shaped in the Superman movie. I liked how they weren't just boxers or, you know, tighty-whities. I liked that they had a unique shape to them, and so I wanted to replicate that here with this Batman design, and John pulled this off amazingly. I also wanted to copy the shaping for the boots that Superman has in that movie, and it looks great here. And as far as the white eyes go, I think Batman needs to have white eyes in live action. I get that, you know, a lot of people want to see the eyes of the actor, you know, so they can express the emotions properly. But honestly, I just want the white eyes because we haven't seen it yet. It's that simple. Anyway, this looks amazing. Nice job. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, and drop in the comments down below which design was your favorite. Also, if you would like to submit your own custom Batman design, send it over to capeandcowlcafe@gmail.com. There will most likely be a part 2, so get to work. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.